everyone. This is the Cupid Reloaded podcast, and I'm its host, Anna Roskova. Today, we're back with the Mad Professor at his clinic, the Love Lab. Hi, I'm Anna Roskova, a journalist, and I host a podcast about relationships. And yes, I'm the only one who can stand that impossible Mad Professor. So, you're the professor from the Love Lab clinic?
Well, I'm that same professor who creates Relationships 2.0 and helps those who are confused in the Mad Professor Love Lab clinic.
Grok, please state your purpose.
I was called to search, analyze, and present data and information. Many call me Grok.
Excellent. Let's affirmative. Initiating data protocols now. And you already know he's the one who knows how to turn any scientific lecture into an intellectual spectacle with a hint of scandal. Professor, or as he's known in certain circles, the Mad Professor, nice to see you. The data shows remarkable progress in our trials.
Indeed, the metrics are quite promising. Oh, my shoe slipped off. Let me get that for you.
Thank you so much.
There we are.
Oh no, my shoe!
Allow the robot to assist. Assistance protocol initiated.
Thank you so much.
Excellent service.
So, doctor, the results show... Oh, my shoe!
Oh dear, let me help. I will assist.
Oh, thank you!
Much obliged. Task complete.
Oh, is everything all right now?
Oh, Anna, the feeling is mutual. Good morning to everyone ready to trade in boring reality for something much more exciting.
I hope you've brewed some strong coffee.
Because today we're going to discuss a topic that will make conservatives' hair stand on end.
Professor, you always start with provocations.
Anna, as always, you start with provocations. But the topic is truly hot. VR orgasm without physical contact.
Fascinating. And the data? Are they? Professor, have we really reached the point where the phrase sex with AI has ceased to be a plot for teenage fantasies and has become medical fact?
We've entered terra incognita, where the brain becomes the primary erogenous organ, and the pixels in MetaQuest or HTC Vive glasses replace human body heat. Exactly, my dear. This isn't science fiction from 2050 anymore, it's our 2026. We've entered terra becomes the primary erogenous organ, and the pixels are HTC Vive. Exactly, my dear. This isn't science fiction from 2050 anymore, it's our 2026. We've entered terra becomes the primary erogenous organ, and the pixels are HTC Vive. And you know what's funniest? The brain, that old fool, doesn't even notice the difference.
That sounds a bit scary. Do you mean the presence effect? I read about presence in your materials.
Anna, would you like to try this right now? Experience an orgasm without physical intimacy? We'll get everything ready right now.
No, thank you. Another time. It's just like in The Matrix Reloaded, the scene where the blonde has an orgasm from eating the Merovingian's cake. But will you put a VR headset on me?
Yes, exactly. Only in real life, not in a movie.
Tell us more about how it works at the physiological level. Grok, give us some background data on this effect.
The presence effect in VR evokes significantly stronger physiological arousal than 2D.
Whoa, that's incredible.
What kind of studies back this up? Studies by Elsie et al. And Milani et al. From 2019 to 20 and heart rate are 20 to 47 higher in VR.
Wow, that's significant.
Thanks, Grok. See, Anna? 47%. That's almost twice the image. When you put on the headset, the AI beauty doesn't just broadcast a video, she looks directly into your pupils. Your brain fills in the rest. Smell, touch, warmth. This is called phantom sensations.
So it's not real, but it feels real?
Exactly. You feel a connection because your oxytocin, the bonding hormone, surges.
Wait, oxytocin from the program? That's the hormone released during hugs, breastfeeding, and intimacy. Are you saying we can simulate love with an algorithm?
Ha! What is love in the biological sense? A cocktail of neurotransmitters, and virtual reality delivers this cocktail in its most concentrated form. Remember my lecture on dopamine? Yeah, it's like that Merovingian cake in the Matrix. Social media is making a splash, but VR with AI is a real dopamine tsunami.
A tsunami? That's quite a claim.
It's like meth, only without the cavities and legal troubles.
Incredible. Tell us more. You've always been good at finding a romantic comparison. But let's get to the most pressing issue. Many men, women too, would consider this a fairy tale. How is this even technically possible? The data is clear. This changes everything. Yes, but is it trustworthy?
The simulations are very compelling. You see, it is a choice. Yes, genau. It's called psychogenic ejaculation, or, to put it simply, a mental orgasm. Think of teenage wet dreams. There are no hands involved, just pure fantasy. Now imagine this fantasy is interactive.
Mad Professor, explain relationship dynamics.
Interconnected neural pathways, like fascinating. The brain and nervous system are working at full capacity.
This is no longer passive viewing, it's a dialogue.
Precisely.
Grok, is there any scientific evidence to support the possibility of such a contactless ending?
A 2022 case study documented a woman achieving controlled orgasm solely by the power of thought, with prolactin and luteinizing hormone levels. There's your proof. And for men, it's even simpler. A study by Rosenkjaer et al. In 2022 showed that VR erotica even improves the quality of ejaculate. Sperm motility is higher due to powerful neural stimulation. The brain gives the command and the body obeys, without a single touch. Like yoga, only instead of the lotus position, there's ecstasy.
Incredible. So essentially, we train our brain like a muscle? You write that this can be achieved in 1 to 2 weeks of practice.
Exactly. It's a skill. On Reddit, in the Our Hands Free thread, thousands of guys are sharing their successes. Cummed in 3 minutes from VR about masturbation in the traditional sense. This is a new level of pleasure evolution. Why bother with a real date if pixels provide 95% immersion?
Well, I'm willing to argue with that. 95% immersion is great, but where's the risk? What's in your skeptics chart?
Saving on condoms and nerve cells.
Professor, that sounds like a dystopia. We'll turn into zombies with glasses on our noses. Where is there room for human intimacy?
Anna, dear, no one's forcing you to do this all the time. The main thing is that now there's an opportunity that will be useful to many.
I know, but it's not that simple.
Anna, my dear, you're too sentimental. Let's be honest. The era when men hunted women like mammoths is over. That's it. The end of the world.
VR, AI, and neural interfaces, which will begin mass testing as early as 2027, men become completely independent. What about procreation? Or are you suggesting we raise children in AI incubators? Why not? Surrogacy, donors, AI incubators.
No custody battles. You simply get results without the brain drain.
You're painting a world of triumphant rationalism. Women won't be left out, right? Your article says we're winners too.
Of course, Anna. The future belongs to everyone.
Good. It has to.
Of course, my dears, you no longer have to tolerate idiots or those who consider themselves great providers.
You're free from men's whims.
There's also a sarcasm in the situation. Imagine, ladies, your men are now getting off on algorithms and you got...
Mad Professor, you're left with real feelings and the question, what about me? The world is changing. Traditional relationships are becoming a drag. Your favorite quote from Lecture 30. Mad Professor, you're left with real feelings and the question, what about me? The world is changing. Traditional relationships are becoming a drag. Your favorite quote from Lecture 30. But don't you think such easy access to pleasure will simply kill our ambitions?
You've hit the nail on the head here. This is my main appeal, Alps. If the brain isn't occupied with creativity, intellect, and goals, it will simply rot in this paradise of idleness.
I love that.
A VR orgasm is freedom, but only if your brain is at its peak. Otherwise, it's depression from perfect loneliness. Grok, remind me of the statistics on VR usage in 2026.
As of early 2025, Pornhub reports a 300% growth in VR preference over traditional video.
Plus,
Yes, and average sessions are now 5 to 8 minutes, down
That's
from stimulation
negative.
intensity, no doubt.
5 to 8 minutes, we're becoming sex sprinters.
Sex sprinters, that's one way to put it.
Well, efficiency is key in these experiments.
Optimizing for peak performance. Anna, we're becoming efficient. Why waste time on a movie and dinner when you can get a dopamine rush in 10 minutes during a coffee break and return to work with 100% productivity?
Bravissimo indeed. But pixels won't hug you at night. They won't support you when you're feeling down. Or does AI already know that? Or mute?
AI can listen. And it will never say, oh, there you go again with your problems. It will respond exactly as you need it in that moment.
This is pixels won't betray you, but they won't hug you either. You advise training this ability like yoga. How exactly?
Start with visualization. Abstinence for 1 to 3 days is the basis. Then immersion. Everyone should try this. It sets the rhythm, it provokes, it works with the nerve endings through the cerebral cortex. For most people with normal reactivity, this is achievable in a couple of weeks. Ay, caramba, it really changes lives.
Do you seriously think that in a couple of years we'll see empty restaurants and parks because everyone will be sitting at home wearing glasses?
I believe the quality of real encounters will improve. People will meet not out of need, but for a genuine exchange of energy. The need for a woman-man as a source of sexual release will disappear. Anna, the new VR therapy is ready. Hello, Anna. Let me help you with these.
Thank you. This is incredible! I'm flying!
The results are promising, Anna.
Ready for the session, Anna?
Let's get these on.
Yes, I'm ready. Wow, I feel like I'm flying.
The results are promising, Anna.
Ready for the session, Anna?
Let's get these on.
Yes, I'm ready. Wow, I feel like I'm flying. The future is already here. This was a trailer based on the podcast, and now you can listen to the full podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is the Asterisk Connections podcast, and I'm your host, Anna Roshkova. Today, our guest is someone who knows how to turn any scientific lecture into an intellectual show with a hint of scandal. A professor, or as he's known in certain circles, Mad Professor. Great to see you.
Asterisk. Anna, likewise. Guten Abend to everyone who's ready to trade boring reality for something much more thrilling. I hope you've prepared some strong coffee, because today we're discussing a topic that will make conservatives' hair stand on end.
As always, starting with provocations. But the topic really is hot. VR orgasms without physical touch. Professor, have we really reached the point where the phrase, sex with AI, has stopped being a plot for teenage fantasies and become a medical fact?
Exactly, my dear. This isn't science fiction from 2050. This is our 2025. We've entered a asterisk terra incognita where the brain becomes the primary erogenous organ, and pixels in MetaQuest or HTC Vive goggles replace the warmth of a human body. And you know what's funniest? The brain, that silly old thing, doesn't see the difference at all.
That sounds a bit scary. You're referring to the presence effect? I've read about it in your materials. Tell us more about how it works on a physiological level. Grok, give us the baseline data on this effect.
The presence effect in VR triggers significantly stronger physiological arousal than 2D video. Skin conductance and heart rate indicators in virtual reality are 20 to 47% higher, according to studies by LC et al. And Milani et al. 2019 to 2021.
Thanks, Rock. See, Anna? 47%. That's almost half as much again as the payoff from a flat image. When you put on the headset, the AI beauty isn't just broadcasting a clip. She's looking directly into your pupils. Your brain fills in the rest: the smell, the touch, the warmth. These are called phantom sensations. You feel a connection with this pixelated lady because your oxytocin, the bonding hormone, spikes.
Wait, oxytocin from a program? That's the hormone released during hugs, breastfeeding, and intimacy. Are you saying we can simulate love with an algorithm?
Ha! And what is love in a biological sense? A cocktail of neurotransmitters. And VR serves this cocktail in its most concentrated form. Remember my lecture on dopamine? Social media gives you a splash, but VR with AI is a total dopamine tsunami. It's like methamphetamine, just without the rotten teeth and the legal trouble.
You always did have a way with romantic comparisons. But let's get to the sharpest question, the hands-free orgasm. Many men, and women, would consider this a fairy tale. How is this even technically possible?
Yeah, Geno. It's called psychogenic ejaculation, or, in simple terms, a mental orgasm. Think of nocturnal emissions in teenagers. There are no hands involved, just pure fantasy. Now imagine that this fantasy is interactive. The AI girl reacts to your voice and commands. This is no longer passive porn consumption, it's a dialogue. The brain and the nervous system are running at full throttle.
Grok, is there scientific confirmation for the possibility of such a contactless finale?
A 2022 case study, Faust et al., documented a woman reaching a controlled orgasm purely through the power of thought, with prolactin and luteinizing hormone levels changing exactly as they do during physical intercourse.
There's your proof. And for men, it's even simpler. A 2022 study by Rosenkjaer et al. Showed that VR erotica actually improves ejaculate quality. Sperm motility is higher because of the intense neural arousal. The brain gives the command, and the body obeys. Without a single touch. It's like yoga, but instead of the lotus position, it's ecstasy.
Incredible. So, essentially, we're training our brain like a muscle? You wrote that this can be achieved in 1 to 2 weeks of practice.
Exactly. It's a skill. On Reddit, in the hands-free thread, thousands of guys share their success. Finished in VR in 3 minutes hands-free, bought the goggles and forgot about traditional masturbation. This is the next step in the evolution of pleasure. Why bother with the complications of a real date if pixels provide 95% immersion?
Well, I'm ready to argue that 95% immersion is cool, but where's the risk? In real relationships, there's the risk of a broken heart, but there's also the joy of real warmth. What's in your skeptics table?
Oh, my favorite table. Look, Real Sex 1.0. This is the risk of pregnancy, STIs, divorce, child support, and the eternal, I have a headache. VR plus AI 2.0. This is zero risk. No child support, no HR scandals if you decide to relax during your office bathroom break. You save on condoms and your own nervous system.
At work in the bathroom, 5 minutes and you're done. Professor, that sounds like a dystopia. We'll turn into zombies with goggles on our noses. Where is the room for human closeness?
Anna, my dear, you're being too sentimental. Let's be honest, the era when a man hunted a woman like a mammoth is over. That's it. Asterisk finita la commedia. VR, AI, and neural interfaces, which will start mass testing as early as 2026, offer a full physiological package. Man becomes completely independent.
And what about procreation? Or will you suggest we grow children in AI incubators?
Why not? Surrogacy, donors, AI incubators, and voila, children without the family drama. No custody battles. You just get the result without the brain-draining process.
You're painting a world of triumphant rationalism. No women won't be left behind either, right? Your material says we stand to gain too.
Of course. Asterisk mise cherise asterisk. You no longer have to tolerate simps, or those who think they're God's gift to women. You're free from male whims. But here's the irony of the situation. Imagine, ladies, your men are now finishing to algorithms, while you're left with real feelings and the question, what about me? The world is changing. Traditional relationships 1.0 are becoming a drag.
That's harsh. Do the work, don't chase girls. Your favorite quote from the 30th lecture. But don't you think such accessible pleasure will just kill our ambition? Why achieve anything if an orgasm is always right there?
Now you've hit the nail on the head. That is my main message. If the brain isn't occupied with creativity, intellect, and goals, it will simply rot in this paradise of idleness. VR orgasm is freedom, but only if your brain is at its peak. Otherwise, it's depression born of perfect loneliness. Grok, remind us of the VR usage stats for 2025.
According to Pornhub data and analytical reports from early 2025, the number of users preferring interactive VR content over standard video has grown by 300% compared to 2023. The average session time has decreased to 5 to 8 minutes due to the high intensity of stimulation.
5 to 8 minutes. We're becoming sprinters in sex.
We're becoming efficient, Anna. Why spend 3 hours on a movie, dinner, and conversation if you can get peak dopamine in 10 minutes during a coffee break and return to work with plus 100% productivity? This is pure biohacking. A solo life with pixels offers more than real-life drama. Bravissimo.
But pixels won't hug you at night. They won't support you when you're down. Or can AI do that now too?
AI knows how to listen. And it will never say, oh, here you go again with your problems. It will react exactly the way you need it to at that moment. This is Relationship 2.0. Yes, pixels won't betray you, but they won't hug you either. Although, wait, haptic suits are on the way. So soon, they'll hug you too. Ha ha.
You're incorrigible. Your approach is a mix of technological wonder and cold cynicism. But let's get back to practice. You suggest training this ability like yoga. How exactly?
Start with visualization. 1 to 3 days of abstinence is the baseline. Then, immersion. You have to learn to switch off the internal dialogue and fully merge with the image. The AI girl is the perfect trainer for this. She sets the rhythm, she provokes. It's working with nerve endings through the cerebral cortex. For most people with normal reactivity, this is achievable in a couple of weeks. Caramba, it truly changes your life.
Do you seriously think that in a few years, we'll see empty restaurants and parks because everyone will be sitting at home in goggles?
I think the asterisk quality of real meetings will increase. People will meet not out of need, but for a real exchange of energy. The need for a woman, or a man, as a source of sexual release will vanish. And that is liberating. We'll finally be able to see each other as individuals, not objects for satisfying hunger.
There's logic in your words, even if it seems cold. Grok, is there any data on how VR affects divorce rates or loneliness?
2024 studies show a correlation between the use of VR avatars and a 15% decrease in feelings of social loneliness among respondents. However, long-term data on the impact on divorce statistics as of 2025 is currently being collected.
See, even the robot says we're in the data collection process. But my prediction, traditional marriage, as we know it, will become an elitist hobby. For everyone else, there will be VR. And that's not bad, it's just another level of evolution.
Well, Professor, as always, you've given us plenty to think about. A touch-free VR orgasm is a reality that is both frightening and alluring. Friends, what do you think? Are you ready to trade a real date for a perfect algorithm? Write in the comments, "I've tried it," or ask our professor questions.
Yes, write in. And if the AI girl turns out to be smarter than your ex, don't be surprised. Subscribe, like, and wait for the next lecture. We'll break down neuroimplants and eternal bliss. Auf Wiedersehen. And remember, pixels won't betray you, but they won't hug you either. Although, who knows? Ha ha, bis bald.
This was the Asterisk Connections podcast. See you in virtual or real reality.